and healing. So I ask you, how do we do this? Live fully in and through God, divine spirit, or divine potential. Well, there's a great musician who I have followed for many years. His name's Van Morrison, and he wrote wonderful lyrics to songs that can apply to us right now in this very moment. And this is from his album, Avalon Sunset, which is a beautiful album full of expanding ideas for living. And these are some of the lyrics. When will I ever learn to live in God? When will I ever learn? God gives me everything I need and more. When will I ever learn? You brought it to my attention that everything was made in God. Down through the centuries of great writings and paintings, everything lives in God. Seen through the architecture of great cathedrals, down through the history of time, is and was in the beginning, and evermore shall be. When will I ever learn to live in God? When will I ever learn? God gives me everything I need and more. When will I ever learn? Now. And now would be a good time to start that further expression of your divine nature. And so in this moment, we can live by the great laws of the mind. There is first one law, and that is, and flows into all of the other laws. There is only one presence and one power that is active in my life and in the universe. God, the good, omnipotent. Everywhere. Everywhere, forever and always, no matter what. And there are other laws to follow, which we're going to explore today. In the unity movement and in the unity of your own soul, it exists to reawaken this spiritual magnificence. We focus on common threads in all of our religions and spiritual practices rather than our differences. We want to truly recognize the spirit within us. And here at Unity, we do not teach that we have all the answers, but rather that life will reveal to you and show you that you have your own and you can develop those in our creative waking hours. We can discover this timeless spiritual principle and principles known as the great laws of the mind, allowing ourselves to spiritualize our intellect. Does your mind get a little full of stuff sometimes, the human mind? No place to go? Anybody have that experience? Yeah. So what we try to do is actually increase the space between our thoughts so that God and Spirit can reveal to us things that we may not have if we were so full of our human minds that sometimes go down a different road. Charles Fillmore once said that the one and only formative power given to us is thought. Thought is the mold in which we make our lives. This is the foundation of New Thought and Unity teachings. The mind is causative, and that spirit expresses through this consciousness. And so, I bring about a man called Jesus, also known as the Christ, the inner light, and also known as the man who, for some reason in churches, we have made him something that maybe is not what he came here to do, but rather to teach us that the divine lives inside of us and isn't always how in churches we may express that. We gather in churches, we gather in centers, but the real home is right here, right now. He saw things right. And this picture here shows us that we are the microcosm of this macrocosm called the universe, and each one of us playing our part. We are reminded that we can choose to shift our thinking, that the psychology of Jesus allows for mental and emotional health, and it is beginning to see that the laws of divine mind can be activated fully and completely. So, we will focus on the 3 transformative laws of the mind. The law of mind action. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. The law of faith. Faith is a spiritual power that activates divine substance. And the third, the law of divine order. Everything unfolds in perfect sequence when aligned with spiritual truth. These laws are not separate from us. They are within us. They are the blueprint of divine intelligence, expressing through our consciousness. Yes, we use the lens of divine mind so that we can view our world and develop our mind and heart anew. We have the ability to envision a different reality for ourselves. We are immersed in God life. We become the sculptors of our own mind. We can imagine that we are each sculptors and that we picture and envision an extraordinary life. Think of Michelangelo, who we all know, the great artist, the great creator that we still speak about today. Think of Michelangelo, who took a large piece of marble and with skill and patience chipped away at this shapeless mass until it formed into something beautiful that had meaning. A sculptor is a transformer, taking something and moving it into a greater existence, a greater substance. So you can take any intangible dream or vision or idea and transform it into something substantial, tangible, and can be seen by all. This creative power of the mind begins with the law of mind action. So I begin with a story I think we all know. And in Unity, we metaphysically interpret these stories as stories for our own lives. So in the story of creation, it is not about the formation necessarily of the physical world, although that was the outpouring of it. It is a symbolic representation of the unfolding of consciousness. Each day of creation represents a stage in our own spiritual awakening. Day 1. Let there be light. This is the illumination of your divine understanding. And when you awaken to spiritual truth, you begin to see through the eyes of spirit. Day 2, the separation of waters. This symbolizes the discernment between our higher thoughts and our lower thoughts. Anybody get into lower thoughts thinking? Anybody? Just me? Yeah? Anybody will admit it? We have this conversation that goes on in our heads sometimes between our lower and our higher thoughts. So that's really what the representation of day 2 in the story of creation is. And day 6 is the creation of humanity. This is the realization of our own divine identity. So the story really represents that we are co-creators with God. That our thoughts, words, and beliefs and actions do shape our reality. And we live by this law of mind action. We become conscious participants in it. You know, I tried thinking very small, but the universe kept expanding my order. Have you ever had that experience where you're thinking small, and then something happens and you get this great big awesome unfolding of something that you never thought possible. And you also must be very careful about what you think, because you just might manifest it into a parking spot. Anybody ever done that? Yeah. Myrtle Fillmore wrote that we do not have to acquire anything outside ourselves to realize that we can express the Christ, the divine self. We have only to turn our attention to spirit within. We only have to turn our attention to spirit within. Thoughts held in mind create the world, divine and kind. Divine and kind. So we move quickly into the law of faith. And this comes as a metaphysical story with Peter in Matthew 14:22-33 to 33. The story of the fear that Peter had, one of Peter's disciples. And disciples is really when we follow a certain discipline. And so there were many people at that time who were following, as we know, the teachings. Jesus sends the disciples ahead by boat while he goes to pray. And during the night, the wind rises up and the waves go strong, and the disciples see Jesus walking on the water. They're terrified. He reassures them, "Take heart. It is I. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid." Peter responds by saying, "If it is you, command me to come to you on the water." And Jesus says, "Come." Peter steps out of the boat and begins to walk on the water. But then he notices all the wind and all the waves, and fear takes over him, and he sinks to the bottom. Jesus reaches out his hand and says, "Oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt?" So the symbolism of this story is a symbolism for your own life, as we do metaphysically interpret this in our unity teachings, the lens of new thought. The boat represents the comfort zone, the human reasoning and the intellect that is the human intellect, and it is the place where we feel safe, but also can be very limiting. The water symbolizes the realm of all the spiritual possibilities that we have, the infinite field of divine substance. Walking on water literally means transcending our appearances. And the wind and the waves, they represent the fear and the doubt and the turbulence that happens sometimes in our outer experiences and conditions. They are the distractions that pull us away from the truth. Anyone have distractions in their life? A few? 1, 2, 3, maybe? Few. And Peter symbolizes the awakening soul. And do we not all have an awakening soul when we move from fear to faith? Courageous enough to step into faith, but still vulnerable to doubt. And then Jesus always representing the Christ consciousness, the divine pattern, the unwavering faith and mastery. So this law is faith in action, and it is a vivid demonstration for your own life. Activating divine substance by stepping out of the boat, stepping out of whatever circumstance you're in, and wanting to do it differently, wanting to see it differently, wanting to experience it differently. Faith is not passive. It is a dynamic force that sustains us even when appearances seem so overwhelming. You know, I walk by faith. I think all of you too, not by sight, but I still use my GPS from time to time. Do you do that? Yeah, your God positioning system? Yeah, well, if we remember to use that more, it would be better. And I also think that Peter probably walked on water. Myself, I walk on coffee in the morning, so it gets me started. And faith is like Wi-Fi. You can't see it, but it connects you to everything. Do you believe that? Yeah, that Wi-Fi, it'll take you many places. So Charles Fillmore wrote that faith is the perceiving power of the mind linked with the power of shaping substance. Notice the turning points in your own life. When you feel like you're sinking, but then something comes over you and you have faith. This is a very profound metaphysical truth because what we focus on expands. And when we focus on faith and focus on spirit, guess what? We rise above any appearances. And when we focus on fear, we sink into our limitations. So the law of faith teaches us that belief is a creative power. And how do we apply this to our own lives? Any of you have moments where you are metaphorically walking on the water? Everything is great. You're starting a new business. You're healing from an illness. You're entering into a dynamic new relationship. You're facing financial certainty, all of those things. Each of these requires us, in order to have them manifest, that we step out of the boat of comfort and into the unknown. And the faith is what sustains us. Faith requires action. We have to put feet on our prayers. It requires focus. Focus that we can have a different outcome. And thirdly, that grace in all of this restores us. When you doubt, believe. When you are afraid, find faith. When we believe in this wholeness, it is the healing power within us. It is not blind hope. It is spiritual conviction. Charles Fillmore said that faith is the perceiving power of the mind, linked with the power to shape substance. And when we touch the enlightened self, the Christ, the light inside of us, we are restored. So let's do more of that. And lastly, we move into the last law, which is the law of divine order. And this comes from Mark 4:35 to 41, that Jesus and his disciples, the people that were following his teachings, were crossing in the Sea of Galilee. And actually the word Galilee means circle, that there was this beautiful sea which was in a circular motion, and sometimes storms would arise. Well, the disciples started to panic. Jesus was asleep in the boat. They wake him up, and he calms the storm with the words, "Peace, be still." Metaphysically, again, the boat is our consciousness. The sea is the emotional realm, and the storm is the mental turbulence that we sometimes get ourselves into. So when fear arises, we forget about our divine center. So when we say something like "peace, be still," it is a spiritual practice to allow the law of divine order to step in and restore things to harmony. This story actually teaches us that we are never victims of our circumstances, even though it may feel like that and seem like that. You know, one time I had an experience where chaos tried to knock on my door, but divine order answered instead. So when it comes knocking on your door, ask divine order to step in. Divine order also means that I'm never late, I'm just spiritually on time. Anybody have that experience? And don't worry about traffic jams. I call them divine order pauses. Next time you're in a traffic jam and things are going nuts, just say, "I'm in a divine order pause." Myrtle Fillmore said we must learn to let go, to give up, to release, to relax, so that we can be truly healed. We can be truly healed. So bringing these 3 laws into our life, our everyday life, here's 3 things that you could do that might help you. The law of mind action: begin each day with an intentional thought. Affirm, I am a radiant expression of divine love. I am a radiant expression of divine love. And faith, when challenges arise, say this affirmation: I trust the unfolding of divine good. I trust the unfolding of divine good. And the last one, divine order: in moments of chaos, affirm, peace be still, all is in divine order. These are not just affirmations, they're activators. We are activating things every moment of the day, and these affirmations begin to align our minds with the spiritual laws. Friends, your mind is sacred. It is the gateway to divine expression. You're not bound by past patterns. You are not bound by external conditions or fear. You can begin to be free to choose the thoughts of love and peace and power. Thoughts shape reality, faith activates divine law, and spiritual truth brings peace and clarity. Charles Fillmore said that we are the inlet and the outlet of divine mind. So let's be conscious of those inlets of truth and the radiant outlets of love. We want you to have the field of your soul. What you see, you can be. You can extend these laws and say, what you can see, you can do, and what you can see, you can have, and it all comes from being. And when we see it through the mind's eye and the lens of Spirit, of God, and this faculty of divine mind, guess what? Creatively, we begin to transform health conditions, business, environment, and relationships. Our imagination is the direct link for the lens of God mind. Imagine good unfolding. Imagine it unfolding right now. There is a creative call that you are being asked in this moment, so that new ideas, new methods, and new possibilities of reconciliation can happen in your own life. So right now I want to ask you to close your eyes just for a moment. If you're comfortable, or soft gaze to the floor, and see yourself active, strong, vital, doing things you would like to do and be, and they are being done easily and effortlessly. Just imagine that for a moment. Active, strong, vital, experiencing life easily and effortlessly. Hold on to that moment. And if in your week, this week, you feel something else coming on, just close your eyes and imagine that you are an active, strong, and vital expression of the divine. And so we come back to the room again here, and I just wanted to tell you that yesterday I had to pick up and pay for something. The cashier told me, strike down facing me. By the time I realized she meant the debit card, it was too late. Ha ha ha. LOL. We can actually say, if we would like to right now, this affirmation as well, together. I imagine good unfolding in every area of my life. I imagine good unfolding in every area of my life. Every area. Every area. And so, as the master sculptor, creating the masterpiece called your life, and co-creating this with God, we stimulate this creative mind and we begin to see perfect opportunities. We invite them in. And so in your waking hours, there is a need to be aware of this creative mind, awakening to desired outcomes, good decisions. And it's nonstop. It's exciting. It's your story. Henry David Thoreau said it this way: thought is the sculptor who can create the person you want to be. And that sculptor is God and you co-creating the life you want. And so a few years ago, I had the opportunity to see Jerry Ullman, and he told a story about meeting the Dalai Lama at UBC while he was visiting Canada, and he was visiting with Indigenous leaders and elders. He was asked to connect with the Dalai Lama and share wisdom about Indigenous ways and Indigenous ways of life. And they greeted each other and they honored each other. And he had a profound experience in the moment that he was supposed to be engaging with the Dalai Lama, and that was he had this tremendous feeling of unworthiness come over him. He thought, what am I going to express to the Dalai Lama? This fella's all over the world teaching great wisdom. What do I have to say? And he said, in a moment, he had a profound experience looking into the eyes of the Dalai Lama. And I had that experience this morning with one of our newcomers today. When you look into the eyes of someone else, you are looking through the wisdom and the God eyes of that person. And so when you share that extension and expression of each other, you're not seeing it through human eyes, you're seeing it through God eyes. They were both elated as global citizens. And so I ask you all to do that for yourself today. See the global family is united. When you look into the eyes of someone else, see them. And personalize that view of yourself as well. See your true light. See it through the mind of God. We are all immersed in and through the mind of God, and this is a oneness law, like the two of them meeting for the first time. And so I will end our time together with another great and wonderful song by Van Morrison. You brought it to my attention that everything was made in God. Down through the centuries of great writings and paintings, everything lives in God. Seen through architecture and great cathedrals, down through the history of time, is and was in the beginning, and evermore shall ever be. When will I ever learn to live in God? When will we learn? Right now. Right now. Take that in. You're experiencing it right now. And we're experiencing it together. So I thank you for our time together. And I look forward to seeing that expression of the divine get even stronger in your life. And that's the way it really is. Thank you. Oh, announcements. There we go, my friend. There you go, Maxine. She knows what she's doing.
Hello. There we go. Okay. That sounds a bit better. I'm Maxine, and I'm here to do the announcements today, and here they are. So please join us from 4 p.m. to 4:45 on Zoom tomorrow for our Monday meditation. We check in with each other, enjoy a guided meditation, and we uplift and acknowledge each person as we read the names of the people on our prayer list. To add a person to the prayer list, please fill in the prayer request slip found in your welcome packet. Send us an email or submit a prayer request on our website or app. And I just want to say a special gratitude of thanks to Penny, who keeps our prayer list going. She's a wonderful angel, and she's just a lovely lady, and she keeps that prayer list going for all of us and keeps it updated, and she's a wonderful lady. God bless Penny. Next week is the last Sunday of the month, which is Potluck Day. It's also the day that we celebrate the birthdays of the month. Please plan to stay after the service next week, and if you're able to, bring food. And if not, join us anyway. There's always lots to share. After next week's potluck, plan to stay for Cindy's Creative Cafe and karaoke. This event happens on the last Sunday of each month. It is a chance for you to paint, draw, sing, tell a story, or work on your own craft project. This event is by donation. If you want to paint, the cost is $10 to pay for the materials. Here's your chance to connect with friends, share your talents, and learn something new. Join us after the service on every last Sunday of each month from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. All are welcome, and we give Cindy a great, huge thanks of gratitude for your inspiration and for keeping this going for us. We always have a lot of fun. It's a good time. Christmas time is near. There's a whole lot of things going on. So here's the calendar of events for our Christmas season. There may be a calendar in print. I'm not sure exactly if it's available right now or not. Our annual sadness service will be on Wednesday, December 10th at 7 p.m. This is a gentle Christmas gathering for anyone grieving or feeling sad or lonely this season. Our annual 12 Powers candle lighting service is on Thursday, December 18th. This beautiful evening service weaves Charles Fillmore's 12 Powers with the heart of the Christmas story. And mark your calendars. For Sunday, December 21st, we'll hold our third, maybe fourth, we kind of lost count. No rehearsal, all ages, interactive Christmas pageant. It's our hilarious retelling of the Christmas story. We laugh, we sing, we may find ourselves on stage, and all are invited to dress up as your favorite Christmas story character. It's quite a lot of fun, actually. No lines to learn, no pressure, just pure festive fun and a whole lot of spirit. Bring your family, bring your neighbors, and bring your sense of humor. It is a lot of fun. And let's kick off our Christmas season with some decorating. After our Sunday program next week, we'll deck the hall and the sanctuary with lights, greenery, and a whole lot of creativity. No experience is needed, just helping hands and a bit of holiday spirit. Please plan to stay and help to create a beautiful, welcoming space for everyone this season. And everyone is, of course, welcome. And we have our brown bag fundraising raffle, which will be held on Sunday, December 14th. And we are now collecting items for this raffle. Do you have something lovely that you would be happy to pass along? Please bring it in. Please bring your new, unused donations to the church by December 7th. Thank you for your generosity and creativity, and more information is available in the pamphlet, wherever the pamphlet is. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's time for the annual Purdy's Chocolates fundraising. After another excellent year of sales last year, our amazing Cindy, again, many thanks to Cindy for doing this for us, is heading the campaign for us again. You can place your orders by following the link on the QR code on your screen, or go to fundraising.purdys.com, click on Follow a Fundraiser, then register to joining our group, or place your order with the paper forms which are here today and give it to Cindy. Our order deadline is actually today, so you better get it in today or you'll lose out. Orders will be ready for pickup on Sundays starting December 6th. The new Westminster branch of Family Services of Greater Vancouver is looking for toques, gloves, boots, gift cards for ages 18 months to adult. We'll set up a collection box in the community hall. Please bring in your donations by December 14th so we can help support families in our community. Unity of New Westminster is fully supported and fully self-supported, and we are grateful for your gifts which support our community's message. Many of us contribute with pre-authorized payments, which are especially helpful for our budgeting. If you are not placing anything in the contribution basket today, please bless it silently when it comes to you, then pass the basket along. For our online viewers, you'll find a donation link in the description of the recording. And please like and subscribe to our channel so we can reach more people. Please give freely from a place of abundance and gratitude. Thank you. We are so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Okay, we are here to end our service today, but before that, we have to thank everyone, to our platform readers, to our volunteers who so generously work behind the scenes, gardening, office building, maintenance, and those who help here on Sundays setting up, taking down, making coffee, bringing food, serving food, greeters, audio-visual team. Thanks to all of you for being here today, and you're all invited to stay for coffee and lunch. Now let's move into a circle, and as we are able, sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth," and "I Am the Light of God." Great work, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator, family all we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
I am the light of God. I am the love of God. I am the power of God. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. am the light of God. I am the